And welcome to another episode of Cognitive Cuisine. I am WIZE,
And I am Yayoi.
and thank you for tuning in. We are live again, once again, on Real Wise TV. Yes. So, how's it going, Yayoi?
Pretty good. Yeah, I was supposed to be in LA last week, but I had to cancel at the last minute, so I'm a little bummed about that.
Yes, yes. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. Because the topic we're gonna talk about is emotional triggers. We all have them. We all experienced them in our lifetimes. We'll discuss a little bit of our own triggers and stuff. So yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you had to miss out on your trip to Los Angeles because I know you've been looking forward to it for the longest. So
Yeah, I was. It was supposed to be a filming at my mentor's house, and we were going to go there to film some new content for his program. And I was so excited. I was so looking forward to it. Everything was in place, and then last minute I got strep throat and I got an ear infection, and I was like, should I go, should I go? And everyone's like, I think you should stay home. And then I finally decided, you know what, this is crazy to be traveling with an ear infection. And I decided to stay home. But then, I'm still connected on the WhatsApp group. I'm seeing all these posts. People are like, oh, I'm just getting into LA, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. So that was really triggering in a lot of ways because, you know, you want to be part of the group, right? You want to be part of the whole thing. And sometimes, you know, God or whatever has other plans for you. And in this case, it was really about learning about self care and not to, to really take care of my body. And, um, and I think a lot of emotional things with that as well when I had to make that decision. So it was kind of tough, I have to say.
I can imagine it being tough. Like I said, you've been looking forward to this event and to miss out. And I know when like oh man when we had to miss Podfest a lot. Like I got to get this year to go this year, but the last couple of years have been difficult, right? And so yeah, seeing the pictures can be triggering. I can like seeing the people at the event and enjoying themselves, and you're like, damn, that should have been me there doing those
Yeah,
things. So
I know. I know. Yeah, it's sad because I mean, I was picturing myself in those pictures, right? Basically. And I'm like, oh, and I'm here in the cold. And, I was also looking forward to the nice warm weather there. But, hey, it was a good lesson. It was a good lesson in self-care and to get over it, to get over that as well. Because, in the past, I would have probably gone into like a bit of a depression and when I go into depression, into like a little bit of a depressed mood, of course I want to start eating, right? Because you want that comfort. And it's an old habit and an old story that came up. And interestingly enough, I did not do that this time, which was kind of interesting because I'm like, oh, maybe after all these years, I finally learning not to do that.
yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's sinking in finally.
Yep.
But, for me, a trigger, and it's funny, right? Because when when I was a few years ago, I was much heavier, and
Hmm.
people would say slick comments. It 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 didn't piss me off because I knew I was big. I knew I was a big guy. Like, all right, say whatever you want to say. Right? It's nothing I ain't never heard before. It wasn't until after I started losing weight, right? And and someone said something and called me a fat ass, and that triggered me
Yeah.
because it was something where I'm like, I've lost all this weight, and you're saying to me like that don't register with me no more. Like before it registers, like yeah, I was fat ass, yeah. Like it didn't just let it. But now that I'm like losing this weight, I'm like, now you're not gonna diminish what the hell I'm getting accomplished. Like so that to me that's been a trigger.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Those go back to those old wounds. I
Hmm.
know, like, yeah, I guess, people that meet me now don't realize that I was like 30 pounds heavier, right? But in my mind, there's still a part of me somewhere back here that remembers all the hurt and all the feelings that I had when I was heavier, and how people would actually treat you differently. Because, I know that I was treated differently because I was heavier, right? And the name callings and all of that. So, yeah, sometimes it still gets triggered, and people say things because they don't care.
Yeah.
People say things and they don't know my story. So
Hmm.
they'll just say it saying, because they're feeling hurt and they're in their own story, right?
Yeah.
And they don't realize what they're saying, or what they say would affect me or anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, and then I want to let people know having triggers aren't um weaknesses, right? They're 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 basically showing you information, showing you stuff like maybe some stuff you need to work on. Like this is like I need to work on my if it had some people in my case it was my weight, right? So I have to deal with that within myself and look in the mirror and be like, are you still that fat ass? Are you still that person? Or are you him? Because if you are, then all this is for nothing, right? Because you're gonna continue, you're gonna get back, you're gonna go back to being that person, and I'm not. Like I've worked hard to get to where I'm at, and I can't let other people's perspectives of me and whatever they feel, whatever tarnish what I've built, right? Like what
exactly.
I've built up and so you have to process all that. You have to look at it all. Like so, it, some people might look at it. Oh, it's a weakness. No, it's just something we just got to work on. It's we just got to process that information and figure out what do I have to work on so that it doesn't trigger me. What is it
Yeah.
inside of me that I need to work within me that regardless of what this person says, they're not going to get a reaction from me.
Yeah. And I think it really stems down to, finding who you are, and to try to get, instead of, because we tend to, and this is, from day one, I tended to try to get validation from outside, right?
Hmm.
Because I want my mom's attention. I want my mom or my dad to, you know, say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," blah blah blah, and coddle me and, comfort me, right? I Of course, as a kid you want that. But and then we've been trained to kind of look for validation outside of ourselves. But it's really when we start learning to validate ourselves from within is when things start changing, and you start realizing, you know what? You know, that person that said whatever that was hurtful to me, it wasn't about me, it was about them. It was their own insecurities that were coming out, and by trying to hurt me, they made themselves feel better, right? And yeah, it was at my expense, but it wasn't about me, it was just really about that person and their own insecurities.
Yes, but it's so. But the point is, the fact is, there's something I got to work on because they got to trigger me, right?
Yeah,
Because they
yeah,
were able to trigger me.
yeah,
That's the issue that lies for us is
yeah,
the one being triggered.
yeah.
Is that damn? How did I give this person that much power over me
Mm-hmm.
that their words
Hurt. Yeah.
like really triggered me and really made me want to like punch him in the face or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really about the work that we have to do within ourselves, right? It's that, I guess, it's that respect and that love that we need to give ourselves, and the to say that, we've worked hard, don't diminish that, because we've all worked hard on building ourselves into who we are now. And I know you've put a lot of effort into your health, and it's kind of like we have to remember our why. I guess it boils down to remembering our why we're doing what we're doing, and to what we want to leave as a legacy as well as people. Because hey, we all want to leave something behind, right?
Yeah,
Because that's the purpose of life, right? Is to leave something behind for others.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't want your life to be nothing. Like at the end of the day, we're all gonna die, but you don't want it to be like, what, it was for nothing, like you didn't do anything.
And that was like that was something for me, right? In these past few years is being able to discover my purpose, right? And being able to, and it's funny because even with discovering your purpose and finding what I'm here to do and serve, you still fall into that trap sometimes,
Oh yeah.
and you allow certain certain programming to come back and affect you and trigger you and so it's it's a work for all of us to continue to grow every day, right? And there's things that I'm learning daily on a daily. There's
Yeah.
ways of me improving myself and improving on the things that I'm doing to basically make things a little bit much more easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, we have to remember to give ourselves grace because we are human. You
Hmm.
know, it's not like a robot where you could just, or a computer where you just put in a certain program and that, it deletes the old program and the new program is running, right? Sometimes that old program does come back. So I think we have to remember that we are human and that it's okay. Sometimes that is going to come back, and it's really about bouncing back from it and going back to the new program that you set yourself with.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's important that you, like you said, give ourselves that grace, right? Give us that period where you're like, don't beat yourself up because of what other people are saying. Like, don't 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 fall into that trap where, again, like you said before, their self worth and their self value, and that's their way of making themselves feel better is to trigger you and make
Yes.
you feel bad about yourself. So it's important for you to work on those skills where because it
Yeah,
is a skill. It's
it
a skill
is.
to develop. You have to develop a skill to let um to ignore dumb people. Like
Yeah. That, and like, in my case, the whole, not, I wasn't able to go, and then I'm comparing myself to them, and I'm saying, oh, because I missed out on all this, I'm not as good as them, those old feelings and old triggers, right? It triggered my old emotions and that pattern.
yeah,
And I had to tell myself, look, there was a reason why you couldn't do it. And and to have faith that, God or whatever is, the universe, whatever you want to call it, had other plans for me.
mm-hmm,
And, and the consequences is like really, if you think about it, logically, what would have happened if I had gone? I would have been miserable. First of all, it probably gotten worse on the plane, right?
it is really. You probably wouldn't have actually. You would probably been stuck in a room in the hotel, so
Exactly.
you couldn't. So at least you're home. You're
Yes.
healing at home. So why risk? Yeah, why risk going and then being stuck in your hotel because your ears are ringing and you're not.
Yeah. And that's the worst, right? I'm right there and I can't even go there, right? So, thinking about that, I made the right choice. And the fact that I took care of myself now, I was able to take care of some other work that I had planned for this week that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was really sick.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And look at it this way: you were able to work on your podcast,
Yes.
launching your podcast. You've got 3 episodes in the can now, so
Yes.
you're getting that. So we're saying this live.
Yes.
I, I'll I'll start on Monday. It's coming soon.
Yes. Yes.
She just wrapped up. It's funny because she recorded episode 3 before she recorded episode 2,
Yeah.
but
It's okay. No, I was,
it doesn't matter when she recorded them.
yep.
It's just the sequence she releases them. But
Yeah.
um, and it's great that the first 3 episodes are people you know and people that respect you
Thank you.
and really know the person that you are, so they're willing to sit down and be a part of this. And like you said, you've have a lot of people lined up already,
Yeah.
and that just shows you the kind of person you are, right? That people are willing to do this because they know you because of the relationships they have with you, and so being able to be a part of that and be episode number 2, it was my pleasure and honor to do it. Like it was fun, and
Yeah.
again, the fact that you believed in me and in what I'm doing with launching the podcast, the accelerator. Um, it, I had to do it. Like
Yeah.
there was no
Thank you.
question about doing it.
Thank you. Yes, I was very excited, and it really, yeah, like you said, because I was here, that allowed me to have the time to do this and focus on that. So, you know, I'm getting it out before. If I had gone, I wouldn't have. It would have been delayed by another week, right? And then it could have been delayed by another week as well because,
You still would have been sick, probably. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm really excited. And it's so funny, ironic, because the title of my podcast is I'll Start on Monday.
Yes.
So it's really about, yeah, the procrastination, but also, how we sabotage ourselves sometimes too, right?
Hmm.
Because of things like that.
Absolutely, and that's something we talk about frequently on kind of anytime we have conversation. A lot of the conversation revolves around um, the self doubt that a lot of us deal with, and because we're human, and it's funny because we deal with the same things, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of the self doubt. Sometimes there are things happen, and you're like, damn, like couldn't happen at a worse time, right? Like to have all this happen, and so you just go back and you're like, oh, like damn, like what now? What now can go? But you have to just pick yourself up and be like, you know what? Let's just keep going.
Yeah, and I think when you just said that, the phrase that Tony Robbins always says, life is happening, for you, not to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's happening for me, and it's not happening to me, but it's happening for me, which changes the perspective, and it's a slight change,
Yeah.
but it's a world of a difference, right?
Hmm.
When you think that way.
And it's crazy because just with a lot of the things like right even now with how earlier when we was talking and you was telling me, yeah, you're teaching someone Japanese in
Oh, yeah.
conversation, right? Teaching them conversational Japanese, and then this idea just popped in your head because I said, "Oh, are you doing it virtually?" And you're like, "No, I'm doing it in person." But then the light bulb went off in your head, like,
Yeah,
but I could do it virtually.
yeah. I know. I was thinking, oh yeah, I could do it virtually, and then I was thinking, yeah, because you know me, I'm a manga anime person, so I was like, I can use like anime and manga words for people that are really interested in learning that type of Japanese, right? Which is a little different than what I'm teaching right now, which is more conversational, more polite, Japanese. But still, I was like, that might be a fun thing to do because you know,
It'd
it
be
puts,
unique. It'd be unique. Yeah.
yeah, it'll be unique and it'll be, the way, well, fun for me, right? Because it just
You love
taps
to
into,
yeah.
yeah,
So it taps into you. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, oh, that might be a fun thing to launch. So, yeah, that gave me another idea. And yeah, that was a fun thing. Now I'm really thinking about it. So, yeah, I mean, why not? You want to do things that are fun for you
Yes.
and that could serve others. And
Absolutely.
that's just a great way for people to get into a language, right? Like do it through something you love. And I think with anything, you have to kind of fit it to your audience. And of course, I'm my own audience in some ways too. So
Yeah, it does. It happens.
yeah. And I think it's just like I think I'm realizing that the older that I get, it's like, do things that are going to be nourishing for my soul,
Yeah.
not things that are just because I'm doing it because I want to make money or because, I have to make a living or, yeah, sometimes survival is, key, but still you want to be able to nourish your soul because then when you do that, it kind of it overrides the survival piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's good to be able to experience all this and then again like we're building so much here and you're building so much with your like you you have like these wonderful ideas like what you're planning like what you're building is going to be amazing like the community you've been able to build on Facebook it's constantly growing your Facebook community, and you're constantly doing your small bites and always feeding into them and giving into them. So and now to see you now you're teaching Japanese, and then of course Brain to Belly, and now with the launch of I'll start on Monday. It's like you're becoming this
Empire.
yes.
I'm building my empire.
Absolutely yes.
Well, you too. I mean, you have your podcast, you have your publishing, you have the radio,
Yeah.
and you have others. So you've built your empire. So I'm like, okay, I got to build mine.
Yeah, and that's and I if I encourage anyone who creates content to own your content, to really go in and build something from it, like right, like all these platforms that we're on. Yes, we're on them, but they're rented spaces, right? And it is something that I've been writing about and discussing, and it's important that you build your space where people can get to like it's important that you build your email list and you build these relationships with people off these platforms because at any given moment these platforms can be taken away from you.
Yes.
So it's important that and that no one can take away your email list and those contacts and those relationships. So yeah, it's sometimes it's important to own your platforms. There's things that you need to create that it's exclusively yours. Like now, that's something I'm realizing, and that I started with doing my blog on Real Wise Global and learning how to start a newsletter because I need to keep in contact with my core
Hmm.
my core village. Like,
Yeah, your community, your
mhm,
community. And it's like, I mean, when I jokingly said, creating our empire, but it's really like building your own community, right? Your
mhm,
own village. And from there, we're expanding. And I think it's really like for me, yes, it's the Facebook group that really kind of started my whole community. But, from there, I've been growing into other areas.
mhm.
And it's been, it's really been growth when you think about it. Um, because it's not like expansive growth. Like I know some people that have gone, growing into the tens of thousands,
Oh, I
but,
hear you. Yeah, and
but
but you know what? We we look at that, right, and we compare, and but then, but if we do that, we not we're like, I'm realizing more and more like, okay, my growth is happening, right? Is it exploding off? No, but it is happening,
yes,
and so eventually it's going to get to the point where I'm going to be seeing that, right? Because it's inevitable, right? It's
inevitable. Yeah.
inevitable. Sometimes I get my tongue gets twisted, yes, but it, it, it's sometimes when you're right there at that that tip where you're about to bust through,
Yep.
that's when a lot of us just quit.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
true.
me, I just refuse to quit, and just no, I'm not. I
Me
just
too.
can't. Like, I know I'm right there. I know I'm bubbling. Like, I
Yep.
know that I'm doing things too.
Yep.
Now, now I have to figure out what's that adjustment I need to make, because everything's always about adjustments.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
always about retweaking. It's always about adjustments, because there's always something you can do to improve on what you're doing. Like,
Yep.
there's something you there's always tweaking,
Yeah.
and and so once you start tweaking and finding that sweet spot, then things are really gonna
Yeah.
ramp up for us, and take us to the heights that we know we're capable of
Oh,
going.
yeah. Yeah.
But
And to really fulfill our missions, right, in
mhm,
life.
yeah,
And we were talking earlier, about our missions in a different conversation,
yeah,
but, and it's really when you know what your mission is in this lifetime, it makes it easier to expand in our empire, to take the actions that we need to do the things that we want to do so that we can really fulfill what we came here to do. Um, and it just gives it more meaning, I think, and then it takes away a lot of the fear, I have to say,
yeah,
because when you don't know that, you're like kind of like walking in the dark, right, not knowing where you're going. And there may be a cliff right there, right at the you may be at the edge of the cliff. But when you know where your mission is, you kind of have that light that's already coming, that you're projecting
yeah.
to see where you're going. I don't know. I just had that awful thought in my mind. And I said, I have to express it because I had this image of myself in the dark and there's a little edge here and I'm about to walk off. And I'm like, no, no, no. But I have this light to shine. I know. I'm very visual, as everyone knows. And I have these things in my head.
No, but it's fine. But again, it's just being able to just do what we do is and really build, like, being able to build it from scratch, right? Like, being able to say that I've built this from nothing. Like, this was non-existent. It's not like
Yeah.
I was in this lane. Like, everything I've built, I've built, I've really gone into, and it has my blueprint. It has my
Yeah.
fingerprints all over it. Like,
It does.
this is what I've been able to build. So
Yeah.
this is the and the crazy thing is I built this with not knowing how to build it, right?
Yep.
So now that I'm gaining this knowledge and I'm able to do things differently, like before I had to have somebody build my website, right? And it was simple, no whatever. And then I used GoDaddy and used a plug a paste and tape, whatever type
Yeah, me
platform
too. Me too.
to where if you go to Real Wise Global Media, realwiseglobal.com, I coded
Wow.
that website. Like I went from not knowing code at all, not knowing what the hell it was, none of that to coding my website. And because it was just me wanting to build and learn and develop these skills that let me just is it my website perfect? No, I'm still learning, I'm still tweaking, but for someone who didn't go to school for any of this and this wasn't I went to YouTube University and started learning and messing around with stuff programs myself and
Wow.
to where to now I've built my website where
That's great.
yeah
Yeah, no, the only thing I can say is that I learned GHL myself. I've been, learning GHL, and my website was on GoDaddy, and I moved it to GHL, and I created my own website through that. But I did use their template, so I,
yes
yeah,
and that's how and then when I was on GoDaddy I like the first site I had someone quote make a simple page and then when I upgraded and got and again I used the templates and I pasted the
yep,
pictures and
yep,
everything and to where now if you go to realwiseglobal.com I built the buttons like
cool,
you go down to certain pages there's multiple pages eventually I'm going to have it where people sign on through the courses through there and everything else and
that's so
but
cool.
it's me building the ecosystem to house it right to
Yep,
have it all there and give it access to other people and but to make sure that I build it and eventually people will come.
yeah. And I mean, you've built quite a bit of an empire. I mean, like, I know your first, foray into all this was Stuck in My Mind podcast. And then you built this into the radio and then the publishing. And also now you're doing the teaching, right? And the coaching. So it's like a big thing. And I love it because you have this brand of Real Wise.
Yeah.
Real Wise is the brand, right? And, when I think of you, I'm thinking wise, real wise, right?
And
So,
it's funny, right? Because the name the play of the name came from actually yes wise me but the real part is my nephew right because he was the first one who really was doing anything because he had a talking real 3000 which was his YouTube and so it was the real part was has always been him right
mm,
so people think when it's real wise it's me but the real part of it is him and so I'm not saying that I'm not real, but it was just a play on the talking real 3000 part
hmm
and wise my names.
yeah,
And it was just and that's where it's just been. So people think it's me. No, real wise it's family. It's just
yeah,
my nephew who's been for the been together. We've been together
collaborating for, yeah,
yeah, we've been collaborating since diapers. So
yeah,
for us to really now do it and build an empire where even now him with getting into clothing and doing the jackets and doing all these different
and the
things.
shoes.
Yes, we've designed shoes and everything. So yeah, it's us. I guess like you could say we're taking like when you're cooking and you take the pasta and you throw it to the wall and see if it stick,
It
right?
sticks.
We're taking everything and we're just throwing it all at the wall, and eventually something's gonna
It'll
stick,
stick.
right? So
Yeah. But I think it's wonderful that you could do it with somebody, and someone that you feel comfortable sharing that with and doing it with, because I always feel like, as a solopreneur, right? Basically, I'm doing it on my own. And sometimes it's really nicer to have, people to brainstorm things off of,
mhm.
to actually work together. So I like collaborations a lot because I know that I get fueled by the collaboration.
Yeah, but
So,
and that's something that we're both really blessed with, right? Is some amazing networking, some amazing friends that we can reach out to and connect with and
yes,
build with and have wonderful conversations, right? Um,
yes.
a really good friend of ours, Steve Wright, who's episode 3, you, um, it's those, having those relationships where it doesn't feel like you're a solopreneur, right?
Yeah,
Because you know that they're also being entrepreneurs and
yeah,
doing certain things that we're doing, and you can always reach out to Cindy and Victoria and all these other people and
yes.
to really
Collaborate with them. Yeah, yeah. It's become my community, my family, my community. And they are part of my empire. They've helped create my empire.
mhm.
And I in turn have helped them create theirs, right? So,
That's what it's supposed to be, right?
yeah,
It's people don't realize that it's you. For me, I want everyone I'm associated with to be successful
yep,
because you want to be at up top on top with everyone you love
oh, yeah,
and all your friends and all the people you know worked hard to be up here.
yes,
So
yes,
you want so for me it's no there's no hesitation in sharing other people's stuff or having people collaborate with people or build or like
yeah,
if any of your stuff come up on my thing, I'm sharing it, right? Your events, whatever it is,
yeah, thank
I'm
you.
sharing. I'm always sharing
Yep.
because it's important. Like I want
Well,
everyone to succeed.
yeah,
Is everyone gonna succeed? No, but not it's not gonna be from lack of trying. Not like
yeah,
it's not gonna be. I'm gonna want to try to push and uplift everyone I know who is doing something.
yeah. And it's really because it's family, right? It's a different type of family, but to me, it's like family, this community. You know, of course, I see you like at least once a week, through Zoom, and we communicate through that. I see Steve, pretty much once a week or maybe every other week, but it's pretty frequent.
Hmm.
And we've kept up this friendship and this community of helping each other, supporting each other. And I think, through Facebook also, but also through different means, we've, taken it offline and created a community there where we can talk. And it's really important to surround yourself with people that are going to elevate you.
Hmm.
And I think you have to be choosy, like choosy moms choose Jif. But I don't know why I said that, but
No, no. But I understand what you mean, right?
yeah,
You have to be protective of yourself, right? You
yes.
have to be protective of your energy.
Hmm.
You don't want to surround yourself with people that are just gonna take, right?
Yeah.
You want to be in a community where there's so much giving,
Hmm.
but it's everybody giving, not just one person just
Exactly.
donating, they're giving information. No, like if you can build a community where everyone is being a part of it and everyone is sharing and everyone is building, it's different. Things hit differently. Like to see a friend succeed that I know I had a part in it, that just inspires me and motivates me like, damn, he did it. I can do it.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
we're been the same. Like if you see someone you know personally succeed, and you know that you've been working just as hard and you're doing it, that eventually yours is gonna your
Right.
change is gonna come.
Yep. Yep. And it's to have that faith.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's hard to keep that faith.
Of course, of course.
Faith. Yeah.
It's with any like I'm going on. This is almost 6 years now of doing this, right? And people, oh, but you're not rich, or you're not doing that. Like, first of all, I'm not doing this to become rich. Like, I'm doing this to better myself and to leave the world in a better place, because the content I leave is, to me, beneficial. To me, it's helping people. Like,
Yeah.
it's not this content where, oh, it's clickbait and I'm trying to get the no. I my content is geared to certain people who want to learn, who want to grow and develop. Like
Yeah.
that's who my content is geared for.
Yeah. And same with me. I mean, yes, I have my Brain to Belly community, which is really focused on food obsession and body image obsession and really finding that peace, right?
Yeah, but
But
yeah, it might be geared to that, but it's still
focus is on the human element.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Which we all, struggle with, right?
because their struggle might their struggle might be with foods, but this other person's struggle might be with mental, like
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like
Mindset,
yeah,
total, like it could be,
and all that plays in together, right? The
yeah, it
mindset,
does.
everything, all that being able to strengthen your mind and make it stronger, so that it can help you combat those urges that makes you want to go eat
Yeah.
10 tons of ice cream or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've been there, where I would buy, pints of Ben and Jerry's and oh gosh, yeah, and feel horrible about myself from consuming it. And I would hide the containers, the consumed containers, or or chuck it down the chute so that nobody sees the evidence, right? I've done that and I get it. And then I realized, in retrospect, how destructive that behavior was for me and how much it was hurting me when I thought it was protecting me
Yeah,
from hurt. But, it's realizing all those things. And that's why, I do what I do, because I know that feeling and I don't want anyone to suffer the way I did.
yeah,
Because there's that loneliness and that guilt and that shame, which is so it just, yeah, and you compound it more and more the more you do it. And I think and I know how that feels, and I just want to be able to help somebody just even put a stop to it and just, move on to a better place.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because that feeling inside when you're at that place is just awful.
Yeah. But oh man, this has been another great episode. We kept, uh it was always a pleasure spending time with you, Yayoi.
Likewise,
Do
likewise.
you have anything you want to share, let people know? Anything what's going on? Anything?
No, just that my podcast, I'll start on Monday. The podcast, that's the name of it, will be launching probably within the week because I've got 3 episodes done.
Awesome. Yes. Yes, she
Yay!
has
I'm
three
so
episodes
excited.
done.
I'm so excited. I know
Yes.
I'm like a kid, but I've been saying this for years and I'm finally getting it done. So I'm like so excited.
And then the next step. Well, you are already a Amazon best-selling author,
Yes, I am. Yes.
but you still have your book in the works
Yes.
still. So
Yes.
we got to get that going next. That's
Yes.
the next process,
Yes.
is
That's the
to,
next
is
project.
to
Yes.
get, is to get Yayoi's book published. And
Yes.
yeah, she is an Amazon bestseller, but we need
But
her to get her book out there as well.
yes, because that is a collaboration piece, whereas I need my own book. I
Oh,
want my.
no, no, don't it doesn't diminish your Amazon bestseller. Don't get
That's
it.
true. That's true. And I'm an international bestseller too. So
Yes. So let's not play. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that is
now
true.
so now the only thing now is when you publish your book, you can put
And
And Amazon best-selling and international best-selling
yes, yes,
author.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you're so yeah.
yes, 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 yes. I know that's amazing, actually. When you think about it, I'm like thinking of it of another person. I'm like, oh, but when you actually think about it, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can actually
Ooh,
put that in
yes.
when you release when you release your book. That's the good thing, right? So now
Yeah.
when you release your book, you're like, and book published,
Author. Yes.
Amazon best pub like, yeah, like and international best song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that in
Yeah.
your
And I,
promos when you
yep. And I keep on forgetting to put that in my LinkedIn, and I need to put that in there.
mhm.
Yep. So, yeah, things like that. Wow. Yeah. When you think about it, I've done quite a bit last year.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we that's what's crazy because we tend to diminish
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that we do and that's kind of the problem, right? Because when we diminish it, it just doesn't help, right? Because if we were to accept the fact that, man, damn, we did some shit,
Yeah.
like like if I look at the stuff that I did last year, like being
You've
able
done
to
quite a lot.
being to launch the publishing company and redoing the website and the
Yes.
rebranding of Real Wise and all that within the last year and the last 2 years, especially going with going through with what I went with my mom and all the, it's like
And your health.
yeah, and my health and with
Yeah.
so it's like man, like
So we should celebrate it.
yes, like I've been beating myself sometimes beating myself up because I'm not where I think I should be. But then if you sit back and reflect on all this stuff that you've got accomplished, like damn, you've done a lot.
Yeah. And I think, the thing that we forget to do is really to celebrate ourselves. And that's one of the things that I do with neuron coding is we really always say celebrate ourselves with every little accomplishment because we celebrate kids all the time, right?
Yeah,
And we forget to celebrate ourselves.
themselves. Yeah.
So, celebrate and we celebrate the people we love.
Mhm.
Yet, we forget to love ourselves and celebrate ourselves.
Yeah,
So,
but no, but we're gonna take this closing to celebrate ourselves. I'm gonna
yes.
celebrate the fact that um we've launched in some amazing we've launched some amazing stuff. We've got some amazing projects coming out that I'm very proud of, and I'm dipping into to we're working on. I'm working on getting Mike King's finally in productions and stuff like that. So like yeah, we're excited for what's to come, and so yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
celebrate all these little things coming.
Yep. And, it was the Lunar New Year on the 17th.
Yeah,
So,
you're the horse now, right?
yep, fire horse. Yep.
Fire horse,
So yeah, passion and fire and just go forward. Yeah, really.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a great day and
Peace
peace
out.
out.